Alright, welcome back everyone to Can We Make Impact Wrestling, the #1 promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. My name is the Mayor Jason Smith. Welcome everybody. Today we will be heading towards Impact TV following a pretty solid pay-per-view and continuing to roll towards our September pay-per-view, which will include Kofi Kingston. So we're super excited for that. Also, we are going to talk about the 2005 Impact Wrestling pay-per-view Lockdown, featuring such superstars as DDP, Kevin Nash, AJ Styles, and of course, an early era Impact Wrestling event wouldn't be complete without Jeff Jarrett being involved, of course. So, we'll get into it. As you can see, we are being notified that Kofi will be able to start in 1 week's time, and my man is getting paid in a big, big way. He likely will come in as a main event guy. I hope so, considering the money I'm paying him. He better be an immediate main event guy. I have some plans for him in the main event picture and at our pay-per-view, assuming he is available to work in time. Kairi Hojo continues to have minor morale issues because she's sad that I made her lose a match on TV. Oh no. Oh darn. You'll get over it, Kairi, I promise. There's big things on the way for you. Just stay tuned. Alright, so let's move on to the next day. We'll talk about Lockdown 2005, the pay-per-view event. Sold-out event at the Impact Zone, which only holds 775 people. Sort of a middle-of-the-road event. It was full of gimmicks. So that kind of tells you it's probably too much of a good thing kind of situation. Not sure about the buy rate on this one. Didn't really do too much research into it, so I don't know if the buy rate was like through the roof or what the situation was. But I know it was sold out in the Impact Zone, and so there's that for it. You also had this pay-per-view would be the final appearance of Chris Candido, and he would suffer an injury during a tag team match on this pay-per-view that forced him to have surgery, which led to the blood clot, which led to his death. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well. One dark match on the card, 8 primary card matches. Every single one of the primary card matches was a gimmick match. Most of them were steel cage matches. There were a lethal lockdown match, a 4-man escape match, and a Prince of Darkness match, which we'll talk about all of those as we go on throughout this. We have unread emails waiting. Sean Morley is retiring. It's pretty funny that he would retire here. I've been going through the WWE Raw replays, and I'm up to like 2003, 2004, when he came back as Sean Morley and not the Val Venus character, as sort of an assistant to Eric Bischoff, occasionally in the ring here and there, and so it's pretty funny that he would retire. Nothing else really happening. We'll check our emails real quick here. Jake Chris still complaining about not being retired, so we'll move on. So the dark match was the 3 Live Crew, Conan and Ron Killings in this one, against David Young and Lex Lovett, and the Naturals, Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens, who also had Chris Candido at ringside. So Chris Candido had his leg injury that led to his death. that we mentioned previously. He had a dislocated ankle. He broke his tibia and his fibula, so pretty nasty. And he had surgery. He had a plate put in, some screws, some pins, and he landed on his leg goofy. And he was supposed to be out about 2 to 3 months. When he came back, or when he was out, he went to the hospital, and in the hospital he didn't last very long. He had the blood clot, and it just didn't work out. So, unfortunately, Chris passed away much too young. Candido, at least for me, I never really felt like he got a fair shake in his time in WWE. And I feel like there could have been a lot of potential for him to really do something special, post TNA or even in TNA. Have Chris Candido, do some big things. He was actually really talented, and I liked Chris Candido a lot as a performer. So that was the dark match. 3 Live Crew picked up the win. And then we get to the primary card, the preliminary matches. The first one featured the 6 Sides of Steel match between Apollo and Sonny Siaki against Chris Candido and Lance Hoyt. And this was the match where Chris got hurt. And he had to be helped backstage, and then, of course, everything went to hell from there. So, all right, more unread emails waiting. Shocker. Justin Borden re-signing, lots of stuff happening, blah 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 blah. Nothing really that pertains to us. Shayna Baszler has a contract on the table from NXT. I want Shayna Baszler in my women's division, and I think I might be able to get her relatively cheap. We offered her 3 years at $57.90, 2 years at $53.60 from NXT. So we'll see where that goes. And of course, we locked down Eli Drake, so he has officially left the other promotions that he was affiliated with. So there's that. Hopefully, we can land Shayna Baszler. The next match on the 2005 Lockdown card: Dustin Rhodes against Bobby Roode, who was still part of Team Canada at this time, in a Prince of Darkness match. And I'm not really sure what the hell this even was. It's 2 out of 3 falls, or something. I don't know. The first fall, Bobby Roode picked up the win. The second fall, Dustin got the win. And then in a third fall, they had to be blindfolded. I don't understand this match at all. Dustin Rhodes got the win by somehow magically hitting Bobby Roode with a steel chair, even though he had a blindfold on. I don't know. Whatever. Then they had the Escape match, the Escape match between Shocker, Chris Sabin, Matt Bentley, who now was Michael Shane and then became Matt Bentley, and Sanjay Dutt, who is now with WWE. You had to. It was basically a 4 corners elimination match, and then so the first 2 eliminations basically meant that somebody got eliminated, someone else got eliminated, and then when you were down to the final 2, it was whoever could escape the cage. So Shocker pinned Sanjay Dutt for the first elimination, and then Michael Shane was the second to be eliminated, and then Shocker ended up escaping the cage and winning the match. Kind of another weird gimmicky thing. I don't know. I didn't really understand a lot of these gimmicks that TNA had. And if they had just focused on the product, they wouldn't have had a problem. Because a lot of their talent was actually really, really, really good. Sanjay Dutt, Chris Sabin, AJ Styles, you had Eric Young, Petey Williams, Bobby Roode, Dustin Rhodes, Chris Candido. I mean, you had a deep roster that if you could have just let them do their thing, you wouldn't need all these stupid-ass gimmicks. But, I mean, who am I? Alright, so not much going on in the world except for Johnny Gargano staying with WWE because apparently Impact was too small time for him. We've got 3 days to our next TV, and Shayna Baszler has had her deal. So now they're up to 6,200 over 4 years. And I don't want to go to 7,230. I'll do 67.50 over 3 years, and I'll give you a 20% bump on the pay-per-views. So we'll see if that's enough to land her. I like Shayna Baszler. Her talent is just, out of the 4 horsewomen of MMA who have come along to WWE, her talent by far is the best. Okay. Moving on, and we'll move to the next match. Another 6 sides of steel match. This one was a table match between Jeff Hardy and Raven. So you're in a steel cage, and then whoever puts their opponent through a table first wins. Jeff Hardy ended up getting the win when he jumped off the top of the cage and put Raven through, I think, like 4 tables or something ridiculous. It was some crazy stunt, as always. Next match was the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Eric Young and Petey Williams taking on America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm. A 6 sides of steel strap match. And so the competitors were strapped to each other with the strap, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And America's Most Wanted retained the titles after they hit their finisher on Petey Williams. So we'll move on to the next match, which is part of the main event, was the X Division Championship. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. As we've got Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley as a new tag team. We've got Seth Rollins as the man of the night on WWE Raw, as he usually is. We've got Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley becoming the new tag team champions on their first night as a tag team. Paul Turner looking to get an extension as a referee in Ring of Honor. Cheeseburger staying in Ring of Honor. Love his work. Hate his gimmick. I don't know. It seems like he wouldn't need a gimmick because he's actually pretty good. But again, what do I know? All right, 2 days to TV taping. We'll continue on here. TNA X Division Championship. Christopher Daniels, Elix Skipper, and AJ Styles. Christopher Daniels came into this as the, or not AJ Styles. I'm sorry, it was just a one-on-one match. Christopher Daniels, champion. Elix Skipper, the challenger in this one. Not really much to say about it. It was X Division Championship in a cage. Christopher Daniels went on to retain it after he hit Angel Wings to pick up the win. The next match was a tag match, 3-on-3 lethal lockdown. You had Team Nash, Kevin Nash, DDP, Sean Waltman, and a quote-unquote mystery partner taking on Team Jarrett, which was Jeff Jarrett, Monty Brown, and Monty Sopp, otherwise known as Billy Gunn, Kip. Waltman and Jeff Jarrett started the match in the cage. After 5 minutes, Billy Gunn joined in to help out with Team Jeff Jarrett. DDP was next, and after everybody battled, Marcus Corvan came in and made it 3-on-2 in favor of Jeff Jarrett's team. The final member of Team Nash was revealed in the final 2 minutes, which was Road Dogg, BG James, thrown into everything, and then I think, how the hell did it happen? Sean Waltman did a Hurricane Rana on Brown and picked up the win. And then finally, the main event of the night did not involve the NWA TNA ABCDEFG Championship. It was actually a number one contenders match, 6 sides of steel for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between AJ Styles and Abyss. So there you go. We'll talk about that here in just a second, as we've got more stuff to take a peek at here. Not much happening, and tomorrow night is our TV. So the 6 sides of steel match for the number one contender spot between AJ and Abyss. 18 to 20 minutes, I think the door went, or the time went. A lot of door spots in this one, thumbtack spots. Abyss, I think, took a Styles Clash onto the tacks. And how did it end? AJ did a powerbomb on Abyss and then pinned him for the win. So that kind of wrapped things up for this pay-per-view. As I said, it really wasn't all that incredible. It wasn't garbage, but it wasn't great either. Pretty overly used gimmicks, I think, is the best way to describe it. They didn't need all those gimmicks in a pay-per-view. It wasn't very well received. I don't know about the buy rate, but I know critically wasn't that great. And next up for Impact in 2005 would be Hard Justice, the May pay-per-view. And this one would feature an NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between Jeff Jarrett and AJ Styles, with Tito Ortiz as the special guest referee. So we'll talk about that, because this one also has another, I guess, friend of ours, if you want to call it that, my friend Matt and I. This is the first pay-per-view appearance for a young man affectionately known as Shark Boy. And Matt and I have known Dean for a long time, and Shark Boy is cool as hell, let me tell you. And he is a guy who is all about the kayfabe when he's working. Cool guy. So we'll talk about that in the next episode. We've got TV to get to, lots of news here too. None of it really interesting, I guess. AEW made a contract offer to Frankie Kazarian, whom I probably won't go after, I don't think. Kofi Kingston starts work tomorrow, Friday. Unfortunately, he won't be available for TV, but that's okay. We've got other things to get to as we prepare for a big pay-per-view coming up here. Ralston Arena in the Midwest is the venue for tonight, and 120 minutes as usual. We'll start out trying to get a main event lined up here, as we've been booking for a while now. We've been booking Sami Callihan, Marty Scurll, and Will Ospreay as features of our main event scene. Today, we're going to go in a little bit different route. We're going to do a 6-man tag, 3-on-3, featuring the first portion, Sami Callihan and OVE, Jake Christ and Dave Christ, against Marty Scurll, Will Ospreay, and someone else. I don't know who yet. I'm going to have to look through my roster here and see who we want to roll with. I kind of like the idea of Alex Shelley, and I think that's what I'm going to roll with here. So, pretty impressive main event here. Sami Callihan and OVE against Marty Scurll, Will Ospreay, and Alex Shelley. We keep all three of our main event guys in the picture. Do our thing here, and we'll keep Dave and Jake strong. They're probably going to get worn out by the end of it, but whatever. Alright, so we've also got the tag team matchup. We've got the Lucha Bros, who we've been kind of sporadically booking here and there. And I don't think I'm going to put them in a tag matchup. We did a singles match with the two of them last time. It seemed to go okay, and so I think I'm going to run with that again. That same premise with the Lucha Bros being split up. So we'll do Penta. This time I'm going to go against Jay Briscoe. And we'll book that out here. And we'll keep it open and decisive. And then we'll do Phoenix against Mark Briscoe. I don't think this is going to be the be-all, end-all here with my my tag team division as far as Briscoes versus Lucha Bros for our championship title. I think what we'll end up doing at some point is getting those two teams together in a tag team match for the championship. I don't know if it'll be at this pay-per-view, but because I think we just did it on the last pay-per-view. I'll have to go back and check. But we'll take a look and see. But we'll go ahead and get this booked for now, and we'll back these up behind our main event. Whoops, I want to stretch that out to 15 minutes. There we go. Alright, so we've got 50 of our 125 minutes booked so far. And let's take a look at our women's division, get that knocked out of here with Tessa. Got to get her some momentum built up. She is struggling mightily despite being the champion. Talia Madison, Su Yung, Rosemary's got some good motivation going. Io Shirai. I like the idea of Kairi Hojo. I think I'm going to build to this at the pay-per-view. So we'll run with it. Non-title match. We'll 50-50 book it. I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to take the title off of Tessa Blanchard. I hate to do it. I don't want to do it, but I think that might be the way to get this done and to handle the issue of Kairi Sane not being so pissed off about not winning matches. You put the title on her and all is well, I guess. Alright, so we've got our women's division match booked. And we'll finish up our top portion of our card here. What do we want to do? Oh, let's see. How about TJP and Eddie Edwards? I don't think these two have gone head-to-head yet, and I'm right, they have not. I don't know how well they'll match up, but it's worth looking into. And this will get the crowd going for sure. Back that up. Alright, now we'll do... Let's do Sean Spears. No, let's do Johnny Impact and Eli Drake. Have we done that yet? Not one-on-one. Okay. Well, let's do 15 minutes. There we go. Alright. So we're up to 90 minutes now. So we've got 35 minutes left to book. And 4 matches, or 2 matches. Let's do Sean Spears and Rich Swann. And we'll auto book that. And we will all out decisive win. Oops, let's move that forward and come on. There we go. Okay. And last but not least, we have Jay Lethal and Bully Ray. You know, it kind of sucks that we're haphazardly booking this, and I'm really only focused on title holders for long-term booking, and it's something we'll probably have to address in the future, but for right now, I just want good matches out there, and then we'll worry about filling in the blanks. Alright, so we'll take a look here, and we'll dial up that intensity there. There we go. Alright, so there is our card, and we'll get it going. Eddie and TJP getting things off right. Good start to that. Kyrie and Tessa, another good start there. Eli Drake and Johnny Impact. We continue to roll with those good matches. Rich Swann and Sean Spears. Kind of fell off a little bit with Bully Ray and Jay Lethal. That's alright. Penta and Jay Briscoe and Phoenix and Mark Briscoe. Really just killing it. That's awesome. And our main event, not all that great. And the team of Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, and Alex Shelley got the W. C+ rating increased our popularity in 21 regions. I don't understand how we could get a C+ here when most of our matches were B-. But then again, I didn't understand how we were getting B- ratings when most of our matches were C+. So, that's fine. Oh, it's 70% of the main event's rating. That's why. So, there you go. The overall angle rating works roughly the same way. So, there you go. That's how that works. 70% of the main event rating goes towards your show's overall rating, which I learned something today. Alright, so we'll finish up this day. Find out where Kofi Kingston's going to be. Get my dogs out of here. Unbelievable. They're silent until I want to live stream, and then they lose their damn minds. Ultimo Dragon was fired by All Japan Wrestling. That is no good. Jimmy Havoc is probably not staying with Progress. Jackson Riker offered a contract extension with NXT. What else we got going on? Rory Gulak, CZW. MJF is a free agent. See? I'm telling you. You know what? I'm going to try and steal Maxwell Friedman from AEW. I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see. I like his work. His promo work is stupendous. So, see if we can get him. Why not? All Japan is firing people left, right, and sideways. That's kind of interesting. You don't see that every day. And Shayna Baszler is coming to Impact Wrestling in 14 days. Stay tuned for that. Kofi Kingston has joined Impact Wrestling after leaving WWE. And let's take a look at our TV. So our last show did a .75 on Spike, a .59 on Fight Network, and a 1.7 on Pop. So as you can see, our TV ratings are going up. We've got 9 episodes left though, so they're going up at the right time. Hopefully we can negotiate a little bit better deal than our Pop deal. We'll have to wait and see though. We are 2 days away from one night only pay-per-view, which is perfect. That'll be Kofi Kingston's debut. And Kofi is a main eventer. Good. It's where we wanted him. So we'll see what we can do with Mr. Kingston come one night only. That'll be episode number 14 for us. I cannot believe we have made it 14 episodes. This is incredible. I am very, very excited for this. Our prestige continues to go up. Our momentum continues to go up. And more importantly, our popularity is going up. And that's what we need to see so we can get into that national status and maybe start looking at some bigger name talent to come along for us. So with that said, I'm going to wrap things up here for today. Tomorrow's episode, we'll talk about 2005 TNA Hard Justice, and we will get to Impact. One night only September pay-per-view special coming up. I'm the Mayor, Jason Smith. We're saved. We're out of here. Be excellent to each other.